All right, hey, I'm Troy at Drum Percussion Studio. What we're gonna do today is go through a typical practice routine for you at home, utilizing me as an example. I'll do examples of your warm-up, your main focus, and your creative exercise as something that you might actually do yourself. So today for my warm-up, I'm gonna choose the exercise singles, doubles, paradiddles, standard exercise. I've got my metronome set to a nice, comfortable tempo, and I've got my timer going on my phone. Normally this section should be about 5 minutes long, at least, a good 5 minutes. I'm only doing 1 minute. And as I do it, I'm hopefully gonna be able to explain what I'm thinking about at that time. All right, so we're just gonna kick it off. If you know the exercise, great. If you don't, you'll learn it soon enough. All right, here we go. So I'm set. 1, 2, ready, go. So right now, I'm thinking about evenness between my hands. I've got all the fingers on the stick. There's symmetrical, so not one hand doing this. And if that is the case, then you just adjust. So my eyes aren't doing this. I'm not, disconnected. So it's all about clarity and just being as precise as possible. Ready and stop. One thing I didn't do is set a timer though. But you get the gist. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. The warm-up should be something technical. So I'm thinking of my hands, I'm thinking of movement. I'm working at a comfortable tempo. If I'm within 5 minutes and I say, okay, that's comfortable, I'm gonna kind of push it. I'll jump up 5 beats a minute. So now I'm at 65 instead of 60. And I set my timer, or my timer is still going. Let's say it's still going for 5 minutes. And then I just add myself to it, and then we go. So your warm-up should be something that you can do, but it could strive to be better. So I'm good at singles, doubles, and paradiddles. I feel like I've got that. So maybe one thing I'm working on is my left hand because it's a weaker hand. Or maybe I'm working on speed. But it's also just a time to get into the room from your day. Just get in the room and get your hands moving. All right? That's that. So let's move to the kit. I'm going to show you how I might apply this exercise as my main focus. So there's the exercise. I already have it memorized. But now I'm here and I'm taking it to the kit. This section should be something that I can't do, but I want to be able to do it. So I'm trying to develop a skill set. For this, it may be something like, okay, I'm good at singles, doubles, paradiddles, but now, I want to be a drum set player, so I'm going to add some feet to it. So I'll show you the pattern, but this will be the exercise now. I'm going to dial back my tempo to what was comfortable at first. But here's an example, and then I'll play it. Okay, so I have this kind of walking foot pattern back and forth like this, just nice and even. And I'm trying to line everything up. So I got 4 limbs moving at once. And I just want to, this is a skill I want to develop, because on the kit, you've got to be able to use your feet. So I go to a comfortable tempo here, and I've got my timer. This should be somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes, at least. Probably no more than 30, but 10 to 20 is a good length of time. And you're really doing the exact same thing you were doing over there. You're just trying to get it working all together. If you make mistakes, it means you're actually developing something you can't do. So there you go. Let's try it. I'm going to put it on for 1 minute and see what happens. So here's my timer. So if I make a mistake, I just start over. The timer goes. I'm just doing my thing. Okay, that feels pretty good. So I bump it up 5 beats. I still have time on my clock. 1, 2, here I go. Oh, I still have time. More time. And then I'm done, and I move on. Now, granted, that was only 1 minute, and that I would never speed things up that quickly through an exercise. That would take more time. Remember, it's 10 to 20 minutes. If you're doing this part right, your main focus right, it should sound kind of bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's because you're working on a skill you can't do. So that actually sounded probably pretty decent, hopefully. That wasn't my real main focus. It should be sloppy. It should be like I'm trying to figure it out. If somebody's outside your room, they're going, wow, they're really not sounding that great. That's because I'm figuring something out. And by the end of that little 10 to 20 minute session, I will be better than I was when I started. And you can even video record yourself trying that exercise at the beginning and then hear it at the end, and you'll hear a noticeable difference. If you're engaged in it for that length of time, no other distractions, just do that thing. All right, so that's the main focus. So something I love to do, and I think everyone should do in a practice session, is something creative where you create a set of rules for yourself and you try not to break those rules. If you do, you just stop and start again. But it also keeps us from being so mechanical on the instrument, because at the end of the day, it's music. So you want it to be musical. So I'm going to give you an example of how I might take that main focus right there. I'm just going to use that as my creative thing. And I'm going to create some boundaries for myself. So here's my boundaries. I'm going to play 16th notes like this. They're not going to stop. No stopping. I'm only going to use this drum or this pad. I might, you can create other rules, but for me, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to keep the same walking pattern. But now my goal is I'm going to go inside and outside these 3 rudiments. I'm going to kind of mix and match, and I'm going to use dynamics. So I might get louder and softer. I might do 1 paradiddle followed by some singles. So now I'm going in and out of those 3 rudiments, maintaining the feet, and using dynamics to kind of create more musical phrases. All right, so it's a simple creative exercise. It's only like 5 minutes or so, but however long you want. For here, I'll just do it for 1 minute. I'm not going to change the tempo because it's going to be plenty in there. All right, so tempo's go on. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, right, and done. So it's just something creative to put what I was practicing into motion in a musical way. And you can create a lot of different rules. I could have said, okay, I'm only going to play the 2 toms doing the same exercise, or I'm only going to play the ride cymbal and the snare. So create your own rules. They shouldn't be crazy complicated, because remember, it's a creative exercise, it's not your main focus. If you want it to be complex, make it your main focus and figure it out. But the creative should be kind of like your warm-up, like you're trying to implement something and you got some headspace. That being said, that's the standard kind of practice routine. Number one, if you're really practicing, it probably doesn't sound that great. You should be figuring something out and getting better. That's how you're going to get results, and results are what we're ultimately looking for. If you want to play and just jam out and do that, that's fine. That's to be done outside of a practice routine. That might be something you just use to stay inspired in music, like watching music videos, live performances, going out to see shows, go support your friends who are playing music, learn another instrument, I don't know, other stuff. But that's separate than practice. Practice is an actual thing. Cool. Happy practice.